Well, exactly. That's the problem that we have right now, is that what's remarkable is the whole Conservative leadership contest has really been devoid of any clear policy substance on Brexit, on other key social policy issues. And whilst Boris Johnson, is a kind of a political maverick, and Jeremy Hunt is kind of this technocratic kind of figure who's the foreign secretary. So both candidates are completely different in terms of their style. I mean, Boris Johnson has been called Trump 2.0, perhaps a more moderate version of Trump as a Trump 2.0. But really what we see is a complete lack of consensus within the Conservative Parliamentary Party. And in my view, even if Boris Johnson does win this contest, and he's the favourite right now, the bookies' odds, and also in polls, I'm not sure how a deal can be struck by the 31st of October, by Halloween. And most likely right now there's going to have to be an extension. But one of the major difficulties that I see with this wider process is that Theresa May has had this team in place for the last few years, and they've made very little headway overall in Brussels on the Brexit issue. And the next problem I foresee is Boris Johnson will come in and he'll have a new team that will be trying to push the wider Brexit process. And it's going to be very difficult to see if Boris Johnson does win, whether he can deliver the Brexit that he wants. And we also saw yesterday at the debate held by The Sun that Johnson began to say, perhaps no deal could become an official government policy. And then we also saw his rival, Jeremy Hunt, begin to say, perhaps this could also be a similar strategy. So right now, again, the whole of Brexit, even when we look at EU politics right now, it's really one of volatility and uncertainty.
And when you think about what's going to happen next there, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about the potential for a no-deal Brexit and what it really means for what the Conservative Party is going to look like going forward, because there's no doubt that Mr. Hunt will likely, or Mr. Johnson, either one will likely find a place in the next kind of cabinet. What's your outlook there for the party? Because it does change the dynamics, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's very good analysis there, that it's going to change the whole dynamic of the party, because, if we go back a few years under Cameron, the party was much more liberal, on key issues like immigration, also on the EU. And the party makeup right now, it's split and divided. So, let's say Boris Johnson does win, then the party might veer more towards, not the far right, but more towards the right wing of the spectrum. And that might actually be a strategy for the party to try and counteract the threat of Nigel Farage's Brexit party. But then by shifting to the right, you don't have the problem of the party could lose its key voters towards the centre ground. It could go to the Liberal Democrats. These voters might think, I want a party that's kind of inclusive, tolerant on issues like immigration. And if Johnson wins, these voters might decide to, shift to the Liberal Democrats or even to Labour. But again, Labour, we're also in this remarkable scenario where Labour are also completely powerless and weak under Jeremy Corbyn. So the outlook of the Conservative Party is changing. And British politics used to be seen as incredibly boring. I say boring in the sense that it was seen as stable and all the main parties had the same positions.
Right.
And then right now what we see is every week there are these volatility, changes, uncertainty, and it's just crazy.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.